Hello there, very good afternoon. This is News First, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this afternoon.
People's protest continues. Sri Lankan expatriates continue protests across the globe in solidarity with their fellow Sri Lankans. Another person dies while standing in a queue to obtain fuel. The first stock of rice imported under the Indian credit line. The Ministry of Health seeks assistance from the people to purchase medicine.
On your top story this afternoon, people from all parts of the country without any political affiliations who gathered outside the President's office in Colombo on Saturday morning are still continuing their peaceful demonstrations for the third day. News First, Disal Kapuge joins us from the protest site.
Thank you, Martin. The people's protest, which commenced on Saturday at 9 a.m. opposite the President's office, is still continuing, going towards its third day. Now, we came here in the morning, and since the morning, people were here, and we could see that tents had been set up and people had spent the night. And we spoke to a few other protesters at the site who said that they've been here since 9 a.m. in the morning. They haven't gone home, and they insist that they will remain at this protest site as long as the President and the government resign. Now, something wonderful that we were able to witness is that many people arrived here in the morning in their personal vehicles, and they handed out snacks and refreshments to these people who have been protesting here. And we spoke to a few of them who insisted that although they cannot physically be present here, they are here in spirit and they are willing to support the people as much as possible. Now, the crowd has seemed to be concentrated in front of the entrance of the President's office, but however they've allowed vehicular movement to continue in this area, and the roads as of now are not blocked, and the people are engaging in a peaceful protest. Now, there are people from all walks of life who have arrived here. There are professionals, there are teachers, there are students, and all of them have come together from all ethnicities, from all corners of the country, and some of them insist that they refused to go home to celebrate the Sinhala Tamil New Year. Instead, they will be here celebrating the New Year and making sure that the country has a better future. Now, the people have looked to be very supportive towards each other. We saw them sharing food with each other and helping each other out with in medical needs that they need. And we can see that the people have now arrived towards the road. And now I'm Disal Kapuge reporting in front of the President's office. Stay tuned to News First as we bring you more of the very latest updates. Thank you.
The protest continued despite the rains last night. In a gesture of solidarity, volunteers were seen distributing snacks among the protesters.
No one in history has destroyed this country and robbed this country as the Rajapaksa just it. People voted for him not because they liked him, because they fooled them. They fooled them and appeared like a savior to bring a solution. But what they did was put us really down.
We are here today for the third day, I believe, and we are here to show our strength through this protest to bring down this the corrupted regime and bring peace to this country as soon as possible.
Came here because I'm a mom, and the fact that the hospitals don't have medicines for the babies, unborn babies, that really upset me last night, and I think that's a new law for sure. And I can't believe that unborn babies are going to not even have a chance to live because of this situation.
The protesters have been staging peaceful demonstrations at the agitation center next to the president's office and the Golf Face Green since Saturday, demanding solutions to the present crisis. Protesters have also now set up a camp named Gota Gogama.
Sri Lankan expatriates overseas are staging protests across the world in solidarity with their fellow Sri Lankans.
Sri Lankans living in many parts of Italy engaged in protest in solidarity with the protest in Sri Lanka. Sri Lankans living in France also engaged in protest against the government.
Shifting your attention to some news overseas, Pakistan opposition politician Shehbaz Sharif has submitted his nomination to be the country's next Prime Minister.
The younger brother of three times Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, 70-year-old Shehbaz, led the opposition efforts in parliament that eventually toppled now former Prime Minister Imran Khan in the early hours of Sunday morning. After submitting his nomination to the legislature yesterday, Shehbaz said Khan's departure was a chance for a new beginning in Pakistan. Shehbaz, the centrist Pakistan Muslim League and party chief, is widely expected to be named the country's new Prime Minister today. Shehbaz told Parliament parliament yesterday, quote-unquote, a new dawn has started. This alliance will rebuild Pakistan. His first tasks will be to repair relations with the powerful military as well as the United States and tend to a faltering economy. On the other hand, Imran Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party has nominated Shah Mahmood Qureshi as their candidate. The voting on the no-confidence motion against the Imran Khan-led Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf government was held in the country's National Assembly late on Saturday night, where 174 members recorded their votes in favor of the resolution that ousted Imran Khan.
The selling price of the US dollar at licensed commercial banks had risen to 330 rupees today. The buying price of the dollar is 320 rupees. The selling price of a British pound is 431 rupees and the buying price is 414 rupees. Moving along, another person had died while standing in a queue to obtain fuel in the Thavalam area in Gaul this morning. The 43-year-old deceased was a resident of Habarkada. This is the fifth such death reported at a fuel queue in the country.
Queues to purchase diesel were seen since this morning in Kandy and its suburbs.
People from the north to south are demanding that the government resigns. The people of this country have suffered enough. In a few years, we will have to live in the streets. We are telling you that you cannot run this country. Give it to someone who can do this. The Sinhala New Year is a significant festival for the Buddhists. However, the people have taken to the streets to protest during this festive season. This country has been destroyed due to the mismanagement of this government. People are unhappy during this festive season. The youth, old, and people from all walks of life have come out to the streets demanding that this ruler resign.
තරුණියෝ තෝට අම්මලා තාත්තලා සියලුම පන්තිවල මිනිස්සු කොළඹ හතේ ජනතාව පවා එළියට බැහැලා මේ පාලකයාට යන්න කියනවා.
Two of the three filling stations in Mavanella were seen closed today. Our correspondent said fuel was only issued from one filling station. Long queues were observed at the cooperative filling station in Kapedipola after diesel stock was received by the filling station after several days. Fuel was issued from only one filling station in Anuradhapura. Meanwhile, a train stationed at the Rambukana railway station was hit by another train last night. Our correspondent noted the train was carrying 10,000 gallons of super diesel. A large stock of diesel was spilled following the accident. Long queues were observed at the gas distribution centers today as well, even though Litrogas informed that 100,000 domestic gas cylinders were issued to the market over the past 3 days. Due to the shortage of gas cylinders, people took to the roads and engaged in protests. This was the situation near Samudramada in Gaul this morning.
The Ministry of Health says it expects the assistance of donors to address the current shortage of medicines in hospitals. Deputy Director General of Health Services Dr. G. Vijay Surya stated the remaining medicine reserves at certain hospitals are only sufficient for a month or two. Meanwhile, the Sri Lanka Medical Association stated at a media briefing that medical services could not be maintained unless the need for medicines was met immediately.
There is a shortage of anesthetics, especially there is a shortage of drugs needed to inactivate muscle and reactivate them back again. In the meantime, there is a shortage of sutures needed for medical surgeries.
The Ministry of Trade says a portion of the 40,000 metric tons of rice imported under the Indian credit line will reach Sri Lanka today. Secretary to the Trade Ministry Badrani Jayawardena said the consignment of rice will be sold through Satosa as soon as it is received. She further noted that a kilo of Nadu and Kakulu rice will be sold at 110 rupees and a kilo of Samba will be sold at 130 rupees through Satosa. It goes without saying that these are difficult, challenging times for ordinary Sri Lankans, more so for those already living below the poverty line.
The rising cost of living has affected almost everyone, especially low-income families in rural Sri Lanka. With the Sri Lankan New Year around the corner, Gammadda launched its Out of Smiles initiative yesterday. Gammadda is distributing these food packs among those in need across all 25 districts. While it is impossible to help everyone, Gammadda decided that it would do what it can. Gammadda, by the people, for the people.
In more international news, Emmanuel Macron has won the first round of the French election, and far-right rival Marine Le Pen will fight him for the presidency for the second time.
Macron told cheering supporters, quote-unquote, make no mistake, nothing is decided. In the end, he won a convincing first-round victory, but opinion polls suggest the runoff could be much closer. Le Pen called on every non-Macron voter to join her and put France back in order. With 97% of results counted, Emmanuel Macron has 27.35% of the vote, Marine Le Pen 23.97%, and Jean-Luc 21.7%.
The Irrigation Department says the total capacity of reservoirs in the country has risen to 70%. Director of the Water Management Unit at the Irrigation Department, Dr. Abhay Sirivardhana, said the full capacity of reservoirs has risen by 4% in the past 2 days. The Irrigation Department said spill gates of several main reservoirs, including Deduruoya, Rajangana Reservoir, Anagamu Reservoir and the Ramakanoya, have been opened due to heavy showers. In today's weather forecast, the Met Department says heavy showers exceeding 100 millimeters could be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, northwestern, northern and north central provinces and in Gaul and Mathura districts. The landslide early warnings issued to Colombo, Kalutara, Kandy, Badulla, Nuvarelia, Kegol, Matale and Kurunagala districts continue to remain in effect. The National Building Research Organization said level 1 warnings are in effect for the Paduka and Sitawaka Divisional Secretariat divisions of the Colombo district. From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For the News First, where the people come first, I'm Martin Satinis, and you take care and stay safe.
වසර දහස් ගණනක ශ්‍රී ලාංකික අනන්‍යතාවේ මුදුන් මල් කඩයි පරම්පරා දහස් ගණනක සෞභාග්‍ය රහස් සංගවාගත් ඓතිහාසික බෙල්ලන් කඩවල එල්ලංගා පද්ධතිය මුල් කරගනිමින් පේරාදෙණිය සරසවිය සමග සිදු කළ විශේෂ අධ්‍යයනයෙන්ද හෙළිවුණේ මේ විශිෂ්ටත්වයයි. අපේ වැව් පද්ධතිය පණමින් සුරකිමු.